Hi, I'm Michelle from Unicorn and Centaur, and today's video is another episode of Equestrian Film Review, in which I review mainstream non-horse movies from an equestrian perspective. Today's film is Willow, the 1988 fantasy epic directed by Ron Howard and starring Val Kilmer and no one else. 1980s Val Kilmer, oh my god, y'all. Oh, and obviously, spoiler alert. Although if you haven't seen this film by now, shame on you, really. The movie starts us off right with a prophecy and a baby and a good versus evil chase. We get a few shots of horses in the opening scene, so you start to get excited. Okay, there's going to be a lot of horses in this movie, but calm down. The horses aren't going to be back for a little while. By the way, how long was this trip in this opening sequence? The baby goes from being a larval newborn to being like a healthy, big, fat baby with hair and everything. Is this country enormous, or did the midwife just kind of keep running around in circles for months? I don't know. By the way, this baby's face, like, oh my god, y'all, I don't even like babies, and this baby is freaking adorable. Like, every time the child's face is on the screen, it's like, so freaking cute. Okay, so once the baby has done the Moses thing down the river, it's time to meet our hero, Willow. Why is there a pig plowing his farm? I get that it's a fun visual and we're building a fantasy world here, but miniature horses exist. You could have had an adorable fluffy miniature horse plowing the fields here. It's a total missed opportunity. I blame Ron Howard for this film travesty. And can we talk about Willow's wife for a second? This actress is amazing. Every look, every breath is captivating. She is perfection, and I would die for her. The world building here is really fantastic. The village scene is so rich and layered. Costumes, props, extras with stuff to do, little stories playing out in front of the camera everywhere. This world is fun. It's the kind of thing that makes me excited for a series. And the actors in this part, Billy Barty is a legend, okay? And I'm not just saying that because he's one of my favorite guest stars on The Golden Girls. That is Little Romance, Season 1, Episode 13. You need to go watch that right now. You're welcome. But there's other awesome actors in there you may have missed the first time you watched it, like Jack Purvis and Kenny Baker, my two favorite time bandits who are in the band. You may also know Kenny Baker as R2-D2. What? Also, that is absolutely Tony Cox from Bad Santa and Me, Myself, and Irene. And now Frodo has to take the ring. I mean, Willow has to take the baby to go defeat evil or whatever. Actually, their original plan is to just take the baby to its own kind and then come right back. Movies over, credits roll. But I think we all know we're on the hero's journey right now, don't we? So off we go. Why aren't we riding? Again with the no horses. There are horses appropriately sized for these people. I don't understand why these people don't have horses. The hobbits had ponies, for God's sake. What is wrong with this movie? Occasionally we'd get chased by the bad guys on horseback. It's like brief scenes of the horses though, and the weird scary dog. You get more of the weird scary dog things than you do of horses. Finally, we get to Mad Mardigan, and suddenly I seem to forget about this movie's disturbing lack of horses. I'm so thirsty. Okay, let me just stop right here to explain Mad Mardigan to you young people. I was 16 when this movie came out. Fully hormonal. Val Kilmer lit my pants on fire in every movie he was in, and this one is no exception. Yes, he chews the scenery and acts so hard that I'm afraid he's gonna sprain a very important acting muscle, but still, these lights are getting hot. Anyway, back to our movie. So we're here at the crossroads and we finally get a bunch of horses to look at, like an entire army. It's fantastic. Now this was shot in the days before CGI, y'all, so this is actually a lot of horses. This is a lot of horses to get arranged for this shot that is pretty much only an excuse for a minor character to give Mad Mardigan and the audience some exposition. This is some really involved and expensive exposition. Although, now that I think about it, exposition can be so difficult to write well that I think every movie should just start to have a parade of horses in the background when you have to have an expositional scene. So even if it's like boring or cheesy, at least we have ponies to look at. This works for me. Get on it, Hollywood. Okay, now we think Mad Mardigan is taking the baby and our heroes are going home, but plot twist! Some brownies steal the baby and take her to the Fairy Queen, and they happen to go right by our heroes because of course they do. I kind of have whiplash from this plot 180, but y'all, this movie does this a lot. So now we have fairy exposition, no horses in this one. Again, we need a parade of horses behind the exposition. But at least we get to find out that our baby girl's name is Elora Danan. And her face, what? How do they do this? So now the fairy lady sends us on a side quest to pick up this sorceress, Finn Rizal, from this weird little island. It's plot, trust me. We meet up with Mad Mardigan again, hijinks ensue, and apparently now the script says it's time for a chase scene. This had to be a crazy scene to film with these cantering horses, y'all. This is a wild scene. At first it's all kind of realistic, but then they hit a log and they ramp over it like a kid on a skateboard, and I'm like, ah, no. Hitting that log would have made the entire cart explode, and the team of horses would have gone running off down the road dragging the shafts. Also, it's hilarious that half the chase is Willow trying to get the lines back to these runaway horses, like he's gonna do anything to stop them. If your team is spooked, there's no way that dude has enough strength and leverage to stop those horses. And if they aren't spooked, they wouldn't have kept running for this long. They would have gone like a quarter of a mile and then gradually trotted to a stop and started eating grass. Okay, now the wheels are breaking. Finally, some realism. Then the chase is over and they let the horses go. They let the horses go. If you have time to stand in the road and have a conversation and then go hide in the woods, you have time to cut the traces on the team and get the horses into the woods with you. Why are y'all walking and carrying everything yourselves? Oh my God. I would have kept the ponies. Okay, the car chase scene is over and now we have to continue our quest. By the way, the overacting in this movie is absolutely amazing. Huge gestures, mugging, fantastic vocal inflections. These actors are working. These people are serious about being in this movie. It is cheesy, but I'm kind of not mad at it. Okay, we get to Finn Rizal, our helper sorceress lady. Willow gets to practice some magic, and Mad Mardigan goes shirtless. Yes! But then the bad guys catch up with us again and steal our baby. So at least there's horses and a shirtless Mad Mardigan in this scene. Why can't this movie just be Val Kilmer and a bunch of horses? I would go watch a movie called Val Kilmer and a Bunch of Horses. Okay, at this point, the movie seems to have just become a game of steal the baby. It's just one scene of baby stealing and escaping after another. Our heroes finally escape on horseback. I knew it. He can ride a horse. He's riding a big, normal-sized horse. Where have the horses been this entire movie? Why has Willow not been? This is the first time we've seen him on... So anyway, now they're riding horses. And of course they've kidnapped the bad girl Sorsha because we have to manufacture some romantic tension. So our heroes make it to Tira's Lane, but oh no, the evil bad mortal lady got there first and everything's wrong. Now we get to have a battle. Actually, this scene is pretty cool. Val Kilmer is hot in that armor. Finn Rizal, the sorceress, is a goat now. There's creepy trolls that like crawl upside down on the walls. There's even a two-headed dragon that springs up out of nowhere. So our heroes are defeated and the baby's been stolen again by the bad guys. And now we have to go save the baby and have the final showdown between good and evil. This is my favorite part though. Willow, it's after the battle and Willow has collapsed on the ground in fatigue and grief. And Mad Mardigan just like holds him up and says, "Can you ride? Let's ride." That is a mood. I mean, whenever we're down, that is our mantra. Everything falling apart around you. Can you still ride? Well, let's ride. Okay, final battle. Magic fight between two old ladies. What? This is not just force lightning and special effects. No, these crones are throwing spells at each other, y'all. This is a fight. This whole scene is amazing. Nobody does final battle scenes like this anymore at all. Okay, happy ending time. Yay, Willow gets to go home. Yay, on a pony. On a pony? They are giving him a pony now at the end of the movie? I knew it. There are ponies his size in this world and they don't even have them in their village. It's not even a thing for them to ride them. I feel cheated. I feel cheated of ponies throughout this entire movie. If I ever meet Ron Howard, I'm going to punch him in the face. This is a crime against equestrians. Okay, let's talk horses. The biggest downer for me is that there wasn't a steady horse character that we could fall in love with, like Bill from Lord of the Rings or Goliath from Lady Hawk. The horses in this were mostly set dressing. They were background, and you weren't meant to notice them. They weren't meant to stand out in any way. All the horses are like extras, like background actors. I do love it when movies pay attention to the horses in their films and draw the audience's eye and attention to the horses, and this film just kind of ignores them. And that was a little bit disappointing. There is one great scene with the horses at the end, right before the final battle. When the evil army charges, the good guys have been hiding on horseback in trenches covered with fabric so that when the evil army charges, they come up out, the fabric comes off and the horses run up out of the trench and they're like, yeah! And it's just a fantastic moment. It was so cool looking. But all I can think is, my horse Artax would die if I tried to do something like that with him. I'm trying to imagine my squirrely little Arabian with a fabric tarp over him and then whipping it off all of a sudden. Wah! The tack is beautiful and drool worthy, but again, it kind of fades into the background, which is weird. I mean, this works for creating a sense of realism in this fantasy world, but I found myself wishing for the fancy, colorful tack of Ever After or the golden armor of Wonder Woman, you know? But okay, fine, black horses and black barding, let's do this. There is a moment, though, in the final battle when Mad Mardigan is on a horse that has a chamfron with a spike on it that makes it look like a unicorn horn. And Val Kilmer riding a unicorn is about as close to perfection as I can possibly imagine. I really love this movie, y'all. Yes, in spite of not having more prominent horse characters or fancier tack. It is a classic film, and if you like 80s fantasy and you haven't seen this, then you absolutely have to put it on your watch list, especially with the new series coming out. I did look online to see if I could find out when there would be a new series, but it seems to just be in talks or in production. I don't know, so we can cross our fingers and wait for the Willow series. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I do make lots of videos like this for extra equestrians, so if you're all about that live, hit the subscribe button, thumbs up the video. Also, if you have a suggestion for a non-horse movie that has horses in it that you'd like for me to review, leave me a comment below. Thanks again, and have a magical day.